Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to take a look at Riot Games, the company behind League of Legends. This company has just proven itself to be extremely hypocritical. And the worst part is that it tries to act morally superior, while its own past and business partners show the exact opposite. Let's take a closer look. To understand this whole situation, we have to go a bit back in time. In August 2025, professional League of Legends player Bwipo, the top laner for the American team FlyQuest, was asked why there are no professional female League players. Let's watch that clip together.
I think there's just not enough support for female pro players and female, basically, women's anatomy and their monthly cycles are extremely different from males, and there's no proper support system for women to go through what they're going through when it comes to competition, in my opinion at least. And I think a lot of people, even men that play this game, just tilt out of their fucking minds when they play League of Legends. So when a woman is on the wrong part of the month to play competitively, right? I mean, there's a time in the month where you should not be fucking playing competitive games as a woman, in my opinion. This is my experience having lived with one a while. She played a lot of League ranked. It was just it was really obvious when she was just getting super irritated at every little thing. And that's not trying to be sexist or anything, it's just the way it was. I think understanding, this is not a good time right now to, actually just get up and grind. This is a time for me to relax and maybe do a bit more VOD reviewing, maybe do a bit more, looking at the game. Maybe have a different account entirely to play when they're going through that. I think these can be solutions in order to make it a much more fair playing field. And I think ultimately the problem with this is, well, competition isn't going to schedule around your period or schedule around, weeks in the month where you're just not. You don't have as much room to be competitive, basically. Because I don't think it's not possible, I just think it's much harder. That's my experience. I could be wrong, but I think it's pretty apt because ultimately this is the truth in all sports and all, mental sports, that is. Even if you look at chess, for example. I think they do a better job in those games, but I think definitely when it comes to esports, it's something that isn't even talked about. People don't even consider this, you know what I mean? Cassiopeia top lane? No, it's...
His argument was that the professional female players don't exist because of menstruation, that it affects their performance throughout the month. That clip probably would have been forgotten since Bwipo's stream isn't that popular. But a week later, his team played a competitive match against 100 Thieves, which they won. After the game, in a post-match interview, Bwipo criticized 100 Thieves top laner Dokla, saying he didn't like that Dokla refused to fistbump him before or after the game and calling out his poor performance. A lot of people didn't like that because the reason Dokla refused to fistbump him was that Bwipo had criticized him harshly before. The community also thought Dokla actually played better, so many saw Bwipo as arrogant. All that negativity towards Bwipo built up, and someone dug up the old clip where he talked about female players and reposted it on Reddit. What followed was basically a hurricane. The post got over 8,000 upvotes on Reddit and spread quickly on X or Twitter. Everyone was criticizing Bwipo and his opinion. So, FlyQuest had to act. To avoid punishment from Riot, they benched Bwipo for one series and deducted part of his salary, donating it to support women in gaming. Bwipo also publicly apologized on Twitter. Here's the ironic part. The series he missed was against a much weaker Brazilian team, way below FlyQuest's level. Even with a substitute top laner, FlyQuest easily won the series. Their jungle Inspired even admitted he didn't prepare for the match at all. So, not much of a punishment. And the irony doesn't end there. Just like Riot, FlyQuest are hypocrites. They also take Saudi Arabian money from a country that treats women terribly. What happened next? Bwipo returned to the team and helped them win the entire North American League. He was more careful about what he said and the drama slowly faded away. Until now. On October 8th, the official League of Legends eSport account made an announcement. The World's music video will now launch on October 13, a few days later than originally planned. Bwipo was featured in the original cut, but given his recent comments, we decided it wouldn't be right to showcase him in a piece that represents LoL esports, LoL players and fans. Editing him out required significant changes during the final stages of production, and because he was the player representing the Americas, that region will not appear in this year's video as originally intended. This was not part of any sanction or competitive ruling, but a decision about how we represent our sport and community on a global stage. So, why is this unbelievably hypocritical? Here's my take. First, Bwipo's comments weren't the smartest, sure. Even if the female cycle can affect performance a bit, it's definitely not the main reason there aren't more women in esports. The real reason is that women simply don't play competitive games as much as men. And that's fine. Bwipo's opinion was a little misguided, but the key thing is, he didn't mean any harm. He wasn't hateful, he was just expressing his own perspective. He already served his punishment from FlyQuest. So why punish him again? Second, this is collective punishment. One man's comments led to an entire region being penalized. Because of Riot's decision, no North American player will appear in this year's World's music video. Is that fair to everyone else? Some people also argued that Bwipo shouldn't have represented North America in the first place. He's Belgian, not American, and he's not even the best player in the league. So Riot's decision to make him the face of the region was strange from the start. They basically shot themselves in the foot. If they had chosen a better representative, they wouldn't have had to re-edit the video. But even then, they still shouldn't have cut him out. Third, Riot Games' own company culture. Let's not forget, Riot was sued for gender discrimination and had to pay $100 million to female employees. Women were harassed, underpaid and treated unfairly. You could say 100 million is a lot of money, but not a single person responsible for that toxic culture was fired. The same people are still working there today. So how can Riot claim to care about women when it doesn't even fire its own sexist employees? And finally, Riot Games takes Saudi money. Since 2024, they've been allowing a tournament called EWC to be hosted in Saudi Arabia, in exchange for, what else, money. In Saudi Arabia, women can't freely choose who to marry. It's far harder for them to get divorced, their freedom of speech is restricted, and they can't even choose what to wear. If Riot truly cared about women's rights, shouldn't the first step be not partnering with countries where women have none? This whole situation is unbelievably stupid and hypocritical. Removing Bwipo from the video helps no one. It's purely performative. It looks good on the surface, but it changes nothing. This culture itself needs to change. People need to start caring about what actually matters if they want to see real change in the world. Okay, that's it for today's video. It's a bit different topic than what I usually cover, but this level of hypocrisy was just too absurd for me to ignore. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.